Welcome back to the Cap Rack. My name is Tyler Blumenstick, joined by Sam Meehan. It is Wednesday, February 17th. We're back with more college basketball picks for you today. Yesterday, huge day from the model, the first of hopefully many undefeated days against the spread. We went 10-0 yesterday, which is pretty freaking crazy. I mean, the totals, we weren't as fortunate to go undefeated, but I think we were 4-6 on the total yesterday, but 10-0. So a very big money-making day from the model. We got wins on Purdue, Tulsa, Georgia, Oklahoma State, Maryland, Northwestern, Connecticut, St. John's, Dayton, and Arkansas, all against the spread. You don't have to check that. They all hit, I promise you. Sam, how you doing today?
Oh, feeling terrific. Up some good units from yesterday. So gonna ride that into ride that this good fortune into today.
I hope so. I mean, last night I was looking at this model, and I'm just like, as games end, I just put them in because I like tracking, and I'm like addicted to that. And I want to see the results like immediately, and I'm starting to put them in, and I'm just like, all right, there's a win, there's a win, there's a
No
win,
one's
there's a
lost yet.
win. Dude, there was a point where it was like later in the night at probably like 9 o'clock, and I look, and we're 3 games away, and it's Northwestern, it's Dayton, and it was I don't remember who else we were waiting on.
Probably St.
St.
John's.
John's. Yeah, because that was a later game. So then the Dayton game's in like double OT. It's down to the wire every single time. And I'm like, just please cover the 3.5. Just please cover the 3.5. So they cover. Then St. John's was like blowing out Butler the entire day. They closed it out, or Xavier rather, not Butler. And then to put the cookie on top, Northwestern came back from like a 20-point deficit and ended up covering. So, I mean, cool. We'll take it. Today, though, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks, I believe. Yeah, 7 picks. 6 of them are within the 0 to 1 edge range. That is very profitable, above 60% for us. Then we're going to move into one that's probably like in the high 50%, between 1 and 2 for a favorite, and that's going to be on Loyola Chicago. We can start in that game. The
We
model
might as
project.
well.
Yeah, might as well do it and go down, and then we can touch on the rest of the stuff. Cool.
All right.
All right, so Valpo visiting Loyola Chicago. We have Loyola as 20.5-point favorites, 127.5 on the total. Model likes a blowout win of 77-55, 21.8 points of margin there, giving us 1.32 points of edge. Now, when we're betting between this little bracket here, we're 39 and 27 at 59%, so we like that. That's big. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Loyola Chicago. But when I did see them play, it was against 19-0, 19-1 Drake a couple weeks ago or last week. They ended up handling them as 3.5-point road favorites. Valpo's not that good. Now Loyola's at home, much bigger spread. Sam, what do you think here?
Yeah, we've seen this in this season already with Loyola being big favorites over most of their conference, and they're still posting a nice 13-6 record against the spread. Last time these two teams played was at Valpo. Loyola Chicago won that game 75-39. That is a 36-point differential for those at home. So yeah, I think they're going to beat the hell out of Valpo tonight.
I
They're
didn't even
just
know that.
they're a hell of a team. They're not just like a good mid-major team. They're a good basketball team in general, and they're you know wouldn't be surprised to see them in a second weekend again come the tournament.
For sure. All right, so book Loyola Chicago minus 20.5. Let's move
I don't
on
think
to
we've ever
Nebraska
done a
at.
spread this big.
Say it again.
I don't think we've ever done a spread this big, like
I could
as a
check.
pick.
Let's see.
As a pick, at least.
Statistics when the spread is we have 22 games logged with a spread of greater than 14.5. So I can't really dive in, but I think you're probably right. All right, next game of the day, Nebraska, Maryland. This is part of a back-to-back. They played yesterday. Just to reference that, the spread was 9.5 yesterday, 135.5 on the total. Maryland ended up winning that one 64-50. So it stayed under. Maryland got the cover. Now the adjusted line today is 10.5 for Maryland. So they bumped it up a point there, and the total moved down 3 points to 132.5. Now our projection yesterday was 64-75. Our projection today is 64-75. Obviously, the decimals are a little different because they played and the game stats yesterday are in there. But obviously, the model is a computer. It's going to be consistent. So we're going to pick Maryland once again. They're playing back-to-back days. We've seen in the past that I feel like back-to-backs tend to kind of go similarly to the first time, most of the case. Obviously, you have your outliers, but we're predicting the very same as yesterday. We had to cover a single point higher, but they covered by a comfortable 5 yesterday. Sam, break this one down for us.
All right, so Nebraska is not good. Maryland is solid. They've played a lot of solid teams this season, and they're generally pretty competitive with the elites of the Big Ten.
Yep.
And Nebraska, to put it nicely, have not. And yeah, it's going to be a similar thing to yesterday. 11 points. It might be a bit much, but Maryland at home, Nebraska stinks. Let's take it. Simple as that.
All right. Yeah, that's 0.78 points of edge there on the 10.5 point spread for today on Maryland. And we're going to go to the next game out to the Pac-12. We have Arizona State visiting USC. USC are 10-point favorites, 146 on the total. Model is looking at a 77-68 win, 9.2 points. That's going to bump us into the 0-1 bracket on an Arizona State plus 10. The line actually was Arizona State plus 10.5. It now bumped down this morning to plus 10. So money must be coming in on the dog, and I feel like rightly so. Even though the model says Arizona State, just based off the eye test and just kind of me picking with my gut, I would say Arizona State with a free 10 points in a Pac-12 where these conference games among the teams that are pretty good or tend to be pretty close, I would say you take the 10 points.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little scary for me. Arizona State has not been great this season against the spread. They're a nice 3-13.
Yikes.
But it's but USC can play some tight games against maybe some teams they should have blown out. So 10 points is a lot of points in a Pac-12 game. So
yeah, I'm a big fan of the USC
State
team this year.
So
they're really good. They're really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna ride with a Arizona State team. Hopefully, gets us a hefty cover. Just gotta keep it close. You can go down 15 at whatever point in the game you want. You can keep it close all you want. Just don't blow it at the end, or slip in the back door if you have to. That's all we ask.
Yeah,
it's not too much. Okay, next game, another one I really like. Kansas versus Kansas State, minus 13 in favor of Kansas, the road team. 135.5 on the total. We have a 77-63 projected Kansas win. That's giving us 0.74 points of edge there on the spread for Kansas. Now, Kansas State, I'm going to go back to your method of explanation from the previous game, or 2 games ago, the Nebraska-Maryland one. Kansas State, not very good. Kansas, pretty good. And I feel like we have some spots here in the Big 12 where we can get Kansas versus these crappy 2 teams, Kansas State and TCU, and they've covered these big numbers every single time they've had the opportunity. So, I mean, we're getting edge here. It's a very high confident play. I would ride with Kansas here. They're hitting their stride. They put up like 95 the other day, dude.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like they're starting to stride a little bit. Beat OK State by 12, beat Iowa State by 33 and 14 back to back. So,
yep.
And then just a few weeks ago, they played Kansas State, beat them by 23.
Mm-hmm.
They're figuring it out at the right time. So, look out for those Jayhawks.
Yeah, I don't care where this game's played. I know Kansas State is home, but like you look at the rosters that Bill Self can bring in versus a Kansas State roster, it's insane. Next game of the day, we got 3 more. Marquette versus Butler in the Big East. Butler 2-point favorites at home, which is a little interesting to me. But then again, I haven't really kept up with Marquette. They're not very good either this season. They're kind of just that middle of the pack team.
Mm-hmm.
Total set at 129.5. We're looking at a 67-65 Butler win. Obviously, with rounding, it's a 1.63 difference there. We're getting 0.37 points of edge here on Marquette plus 2. That's going to be the pick. Sam, what do we got?
Marquette, both teams are kind of struggling a little bit. So last time the 2 teams played a couple weeks ago, Butler won 70-63. And with these middle of the road Big East games, they're going to be tough. And they go back and forth a lot, going to be tight down in the end. But especially with these like evenly matched teams, I kind of see them splitting the season series. So that would lead us to a Marquette win tonight, or at the very least, maybe a heartbreaking loss at the buzzer. But yeah, I like Marquette to hang around enough to potentially even win this game.
Yeah, I think they can. Butler's not really as good as.
I think they are the better. I think they are the better team.
Marquette?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Let's move on. We have Richmond at VCU. We keep just punching right back into the A10 every single day. 2.5 point spread. Last night, if I remember correctly, VCU was favored by 2. Today, 142 on the total. We're looking at a 77 to 75 VCU win. 2.63 points of edge there. It was a play yesterday at 2 with 0.63 points of edge. It's a play still today with 0.13 points of edge. Um, I don't really know kind of what to make of this. I'm personally looking at the over. We're getting almost 10 points of edge there on a low 142 total. Richmond likes to push the pace. So does VCU. I think this should be able to go over and both teams to score in the 70s. But the model is looking at a VCU cover at home, and it's a small number versus Richmond, who started off hot, have kind of regressed back to the mean a little bit. Um, Model likes it. I mean, I'm willing. I'm willing to push forward. I don't really have much to say about the A10.
Yeah. VCU and Richmond, two of the better teams in the A10. VCU is probably the best of the best there. They want to prove that tonight with a big win against Richmond. Everyone's big on Richmond after they beat Kentucky, but then it turns out Kentucky just stinks.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, VCU at home, 2 points. I'll take that. They're on a roll, won 5 in a row, including 2 against Dayton at URI. Against solid teams in their conference. So, yeah, let's take the points with VCU tonight. And then I do like that overplay as well. I think both teams, they're playing decent, defense, but that's I think that's more of a knock against the conference itself. Like what a lot of the teams can't really score that well, but these two can score very efficiently and very quickly. So, yeah, I like that over a lot.
Yeah, I feel like Richmond plays more of a speed game, while VCU, like the last couple of years since they found success, they've played like a punchy in the mouth physicality kind of game. So it's gonna be like a clash of styles. It's gonna be interesting and probably a lot of scoring there. DePaul at Seton Hall, interesting game. 13.5 points. It's gonna be at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, our home state. 139.5 on the total. We have a 76 to 73 or 76 to 63 Seton Hall win, 13.5 points there margin, getting 0.08 points of edge on Seton Hall. Now, I mean, I look at college basketball from a pure college basketball betting lens, and living in New Jersey and the way that the regulations are set up, we don't see Seton Hall games. We don't see Rutgers games inside the book. So I feel like naturally they're just kind of going by the wayside over the course of the season. So I underappreciated how good Seton Hall actually is. And I don't know, they lost Miles Powell. They had an adjustment period. They went through like COVID protocol early in the year. Now they're kind of a team that is hitting their stride. I can compare them to Kansas a little bit. Obviously, they're not Kansas's talent, but like in terms of being well coached and expecting to come around towards the end of the season, I feel like that's really the Seton Hall team this season.
Yeah, I totally agree. They've won 3 in a row, and they won at Providence by 17. Providence is no slouch. They went into UConn, beat them, another good UConn team, and they beat Marquette a few days ago. Hit their stride. And before that, they lost 2 very close games against Villanova and Creighton, 2 very good teams in the Big East. And DePaul, they lost 4 in a row. They're starting to show their true colors, kind of getting beat up a little bit too in those 4 games. So yeah, I do like Seton Hall here. I think this is the better team, hitting their stride as well. So I know it's a lot of points, but I don't even know. Did I even say that, or because I actually
Yeah,
like
Seton
Seton
Hall,
Hall?
it's 0.08 points.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
very very close.
very, very close. Yeah. So yeah, that rounds up all of our picks for today. There's a couple more games going on, some good games. We have UNC picking up a game against Northeastern. That's a 16.5 point spread, 136 on the total. Models, I mean, these aren't high confidence plays. I just want to put out a disclaimer there. We have Northeastern covering by a pretty hefty margin. We have Minnesota, Indiana. We have Duke, Wake Forest. We have South Carolina, Tennessee today. We have South Florida, UCF. You have Syracuse, Louisville. You have Drake, Northern Iowa, which I want to touch on because we have Drake by 9. So we have like 2.5 points of edge there. Drake's a good team. They're on the road, though. The model doesn't love it as a play, but that's that. Kentucky, Vanderbilt. We got Vandy covering at home. Also not a high confidence play. We have NC State covering on the road at Pittsburgh. Also not a high confidence play, but plays nonetheless if that's what you like to dabble in. Sam, you got anything extra for today?
You got You got anything on Utah State, Boise State?
No, but I can run that for you real quick.
You know,
Utah State,
that's a
Boise
two of the
State.
top teams, and I keep forgetting what conference they're in. Is that the Mountain West or
What's the spread on that one?
the spread is I think it's Boise minus 1.5.
1.5. Okay, so we have a 74-69 Boise State win. It's 73.6 to 69.4.
Interesting.
Boise State at home. Yep.
Yeah, those two good teams. 14-5 Utah State at Boise State 16-4.
Utah State started off very slow, if I remember correctly. Maybe not very slow, but they were kind of like hovering around 500, maybe below.
Yeah,
I know they were good in years past. I just kind of wrote them off as like a mid-major team that's having a lucky year, but it's, I guess, not the case.
They're a solid program. Like most of the time, they're generally around the top of their conference.
Yeah, I'm just saying in terms of actually being able to make noise in March. They had 1 year. I forget. It was maybe like 2 years ago where they made it, and they went maybe like won a game or two. I don't remember. There's too much to follow in college basketball, which is why we leave it up to the computer.
Exactly.
NHL blog today?
Yeah, so we'll have didn't love the slate yesterday, but I like the slate a lot more today, so should have some picks up later today.
Cool. Sweet. So that wraps up today's episode of The Cap Rack. It is Wednesday, February 17th. Last night we went 10-0 on the model. Great day. Amazing day.
We're going to do it again.
We're going to do it again. Don't miss today. We have 7 picks actually, across all games, mid-majors. We got Big 10 basketball. We got Big 12 basketball. We got Big East basketball. We got A10 basketball, everything you can wonder. Picks in the beginning of the episode. Click the link in the bio. Pretty much it. My name is Tyler Blumenstick, and as always, joined by Sam Meehan. We will see you probably tomorrow or whenever we see you. Peace.